Hello there, my friend, and welcome to the Disney Travel Secrets Podcast. We are your hosts, Rob and Kerri Stuart, coming to you from the Creating Magic Vacation Studio, right next to Disney in beautiful Windermere, Florida. You're listening to episode number 407, original air date December 2nd, 2024.
So welcome to December. It is the official holiday season.
Lots going on in holiday festivities here within the bubble. And for some reason this year, our social calendar and business calendar have been very full.
Yeah, which is why we take Sunday mornings off and make them what we call arcade date days. And we're going to tell you a little bit about one of those in this week's show.
This episode is literally about places to go off the beaten path, or what we call outside the Disney bubble.
And for those of you that drive to Disney, or maybe you rent a car during your vacation, we are going to share some great places to go within 20 minutes or so of Magic Kingdom, and you can even save some money.
Welcome to Disney Travel Secrets with your host, Rob and Kerri Stuart, the founders of Creating Magic Vacations and authorized Disney vacation planner. They are still a very popular Disney podcast, and not just with their friends and family. Every Monday for over 5 years, they've been bringing you the best and most up-to-date information about all things Disney. The parks, the cruises, and also the luxury of Adventures by Disney. Make sure to follow them on Instagram, where they share content that's mentioned on this very show. Now, here comes the rope drop.
We decided to give Flash some love. We have not used his intro for a while, so welcome back, Flash.
I know, and if you're new to the show, you've probably never heard that intro. So welcome back, Flash.
Okay, now, move over, food and wine. It's time for Disney's Festival of the Holidays over at Epcot.
And this started just a few days ago on November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving, and it will run through December 30th.
And this is a good time to remind you, if you're coming to Disney during the holidays, please pack your patience, not the doctor kind, but you're being patient, and treat cast members with respect.
Yeah, this is so important during the holidays because did you know that the Orange County sheriffs often have to step in to some incidents in the parks? And
Yes.
Get this, most happen around the hub at Magic Kingdom after the fireworks when people are losing their minds.
So we were recently talking to a friend of ours and a fellow agent who's an Orange County sheriff, and she was telling us about all the drama, and she also mentioned that the park up the street is 10 times worse.
Yeah, that does not surprise me at all.
No.
At all.
So just a quick reminder about helping us support Folds of Honor by purchasing a CMV Heroes t-shirt, which if you're watching us on YouTube, Kerri's wearing one right now. I'm wearing my Walt Disney Carolwood Barn train shirt, and 100% of the profit goes to this amazing charity.
Yeah, all you have to do is go to travelfanstore.com to get yours. There's a link right there on the homepage.
Yes, there is.
Also, a reminder that we are actively booking guests on our private Adventures by Disney trip to Southern California, including Disneyland, starting September 28th through October 3rd. So why not you? You need to come and join us.
You really should. If you listen to our previous episode, number 406, you already know how amazing this particular trip is, including a trip to Walt Disney's office. Play the angel music.
But we do anticipate that this will sell out. There are only 40 spots total, and as of this recording, we are down to less than 30. So go to creatingmagicvacations.com. You can click on Plan a Vacation and just put ABD with Rob and Kerri in the description, or click on the direct link in the show description.
So I know you've heard this a lot in the last few years, but one of the biggest reasons we moved here was to have the ability to go to the park spontaneously and meet some of our clients and also our agents.
Yeah, and just last week, we had the opportunity to meet two of our DTS listeners from the UK, Sam and Katrina. So we went over to Epcot to say hi and also to give them a signed copy of Just Add Water, Your Guide to the Ultimate Cruise Vacation book that we wrote ourselves.
And it could be our last copy. I know we have probably somewhere, but don't worry, the 2024 updated edition is in its final edit, and that will be out soon. Hopefully very soon, followed by Just Add Magic, Your Guide to the Ultimate Disney Vacation, which I am hard at work at right now.
But if you've never been on a cruise, this really is a great book.
It is.
So another great gift idea. But we also have another special shout out to one of our loyal listeners. So he is 7 years old. His favorite ride is Tron, and his favorite Disney snack is popcorn in a Disney popcorn bucket.
So a big shout out to our friend Liam from Michigan. So next time you're down here, we'll have to treat you to some popcorn.
Yeah.
So the Sunday before before last was one of those picture perfect days here in Orlando. 75 degrees-ish, no clouds in the sky.
I know, low humidity. It was also the opening weekend for the movie Wicked, so we're going to share a little bit more about that in a few.
Sundays are Rob and Kerri date days, as we mentioned, so we went to the early 10:30 a.m. showing of Wicked. Our plan was to go to Splitsville after the movie like we normally do and get some amazing sushi that they have there.
Except for two things. The outside bar was packed, and our favorite bartender, Tara, who normally works Sundays, had taken the day off to go to her kids' soccer game.
So we call that a clue, and we said, you know what? Let's go home, switch cars, grab the convertible, and drive over to the Hamlin Winter Garden area, which is a really nice drive, by the way. And we went to New York Beer Project. Now, if you live in New York, you may have heard of them, but this is their only Florida location.
Yeah, and we hadn't been there since, I think, before we moved in February. Yeah. And probably the last time was in December. And we were over there because we were looking at some new homes, and that area is growing like crazy. So we were just over there doing some house shopping, basically.
We were, and I forgot what a great place this is to hang out, especially during the football season. They're probably the best pizza crust of any place that we go to, but something to keep in mind, they're very limited on toppings. Most places, if they have pizza, they have, okay, here are our toppings. They do not. I'm like, do you have sausage? She's like, no.
So we ended up getting what was called the Mulberry Street Pizza, which is a very simple pizza with your mozzarella cheese and then both cup and charred pepperoni, but the crust is just amazing.
It is all about the crust. They also have a large beer selection, and I chose the Walters Jelly Donut Raspberry Kolsch. And I gotta say, it was very, very tasty.
Yeah, but they also, their menu has some fun seasonal drinks and also seasonal food. So that's always being mixed up.
Another place, and you may have heard of this one, is Ford's Garage. This location is in what's called Horizon West. Another good place to go. Good food, good drinks, and plenty of TVs.
And what's really nice about these off the beaten path restaurants is the pricing is definitely not what you're going to get at Disney, like the Disney pricing. You also don't have to have dining reservations in most cases, and sometimes it's nice just to get out of those Disney crowds.
And also parking, so let's not forget it's easy to park. Unlike sometimes at Disney Springs, those lines get incredibly busy and long and crazy.
Yeah. Now this next place you may already know because it's one we go to probably the most, at least once a week, and that is Gators Dockside. Yep. They do have a few locations, but the one we recommend is Lakeside Village, which is on the map. It's just north of Magic Kingdom.
And this may surprise you, but one place we almost stopped going to is Paisanos, and that was our go-to place. That's where we signed our lease agreement in February, or actually end of January in 2022. It's a place where we go all the time, but they lost one of our two favorite bartenders, and when we went there a few weeks ago, we didn't know he was gone, and they had this girl that had never bartended before. This was her very first day. You don't do that to a place where people come to because of the regular bartenders that they have.
Yeah, and we like sitting at the bar because you do get really good service, and she let our food get cold. It was sitting in the kitchen forever. Again, don't put a brand new bartender behind the bar.
Do that.
We're used to having like the really good, excellent, I call mixologists there. We do like their food, and it is super close to Disney. One of the things you can get from Paisanos, though, is if you do have a big family, you could order like a big lasagna, and I would just say get it to go.
Now, if you want to venture out a little bit further, another really great place is the Crooked Can Brewery. This is a little bit farther. It's up in downtown Winter Garden, and there are also several other spots right around there. It's a really good old-timey looking town, a little too much cobblestone for my taste.
And it does get busy on the weekends. It's good for midweek, I think.
But as the name suggests, Crooked Can is a brewery, but it's also, I guess, a food mall with all types of stalls with things like pizza. And I know I get pizza everywhere, just like one of my agents, Ryan.
Yeah, he's known for his pizza. But you can also get sushi, hamburgers, barbecue, empanada. There's a ceviche place. And then they have like some specialty things for like donuts, specialty mac and cheese, popcorn. So there's a lot there.
It's a really good variety that also has some really cool outdoor seating.
And it's nice to just try something new. But as you may have noticed, these locations are all north of Disney World. And there's a reason for that. We avoid the tourist areas, specifically places on 192, which is south of Disney World. And if we are there, we're going to either go to probably Rock and Brews, which is owned in part by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from Kiss.
Yes, that's the rock part.
That's the rock
The
part.
brews part of their partners, I guess. I don't know. But they have surprisingly good food, and a place you introduced me to, and it's right down the street across. Again, Highway 192 is considered Kissimmee, which a lot of people think, oh, that's where Disney is. No, Disney's Lake Buena Vista. We also love Chewy's, again, right down the street from Rock and Brews. But again, it's on Highway 192. Probably the biggest tourist traps in Orlando, even more so than iDrive.
Yeah, and traffic can get really bad. So go north if you want to get out of the bubble. But basically, stick with our recommendations. It's also, though, a really great thing if you are tempted to move down here and you want to see some of the areas you may want to live, head north of Walt Disney World.
I would agree. And again, if you're thinking of moving to this area, the best place is Windermere, where we are, or Hamlin and or Horizon West, which is where a few of the places that we just recommended are located.
Yeah, or up in Winter Garden. That one's pretty close,
That is
too.
very popular, too. As we mentioned earlier for that arcade date day, we went to see Wicked. I can't believe you got me to go to Pink and Wicked in the same week.
I know, right? But you loved them both. Just admit it. You really, really did.
Okay, that is true. But going into it, I didn't really know that Wicked movie, the Wicked movie was a musical.
I may not have disclosed that to you.
You did not. I do know it's a musical on Broadway. But yes, a little too many musical dance numbers for me. But overall, a great movie, and it was actually really funny.
I know. It was very well
Had a good
done.
plot.
Now, the one thing is we had no idea that it was just part one. And the movie was over 2.5 hours. And, I'm thinking, how are they going to wrap this up? Because, this is kind of dragging on. Well, then we quickly found out that it's because this was part one.
Now, I will say it's 2 thumbs up for us for this movie, but we have more movie dates in the near future.
We do.
Technically, if you're listening to this, we've already seen them. And that is Gladiator 2. We're going to that on Friday after Thanksgiving. And Moana 2 on that Sunday. Technically, it's yesterday if you're listening to this show on the date that it drops.
Yeah, now keep in mind that we are recording this the day before Thanksgiving. So by the time you are listening to this or watching, we've already gone there. And we will definitely keep you posted because sometimes it's nice to just during the holidays go see a movie, and the AMC theaters over at Disney Springs are a great option.
I know we're finally making up for having the AMC stubs. They call it A-list. It's about $24 per month per person, but you can see up to 3 movies per week. If you go to at least like 2 or 3 movies per month, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, and they have this all over the country in 45 states. So if you have it where you live, you can use it when you're here at Disney Springs. This past year, there just weren't enough movies that we wanted to see, though. It was a little disappointing from a movie standpoint.
It was. So that's a little bit this week outside of the Disney bubble. Next week, we're going to be tackling some of the hidden gems and lesser known things in the parks that you should know about.
Yeah, we got some good ones. And as always, if we can help you plan your next Disney trip to any destination in the world, reach out to us or one of our Creating Magic Vacations travel advisors.
And remember, a Disney trip wraps up well under the tree, and we can help make that happen. And remember, a great gift to put under the tree is a Disney trip, or any vacation for that matter. As we say on our other show, Travel Inspired, never stop exploring.
And so thanks again for listening or even watching us on YouTube.
Until next time, have a magical day.
We hope to see you real soon.